And babe,
We sure do.
Babe, I'm really happy that you're back.
Thanks. I'm happy to be back.
So howdy, folks. Welcome back to Hoot and a Half. Today we are joined with my girlfriend, Patricia Flash.
For the second time, part two.
Patricia
Part
returns.
2.
You, as we were saying, Patricia, you are our third currently most viewed episode on the podcast. Jeff Wittick was number 1 for a while. He was holding that over us for a while.
Well, that's because he paid for those views.
Oh,
though.
you think he bought views on the
That's
channel?
what Jeff usually... Oh, I leaked that. Sorry, Matt the Rat here. Yeah, Jeff, usually if you see him on something, the videos are doing well. He's paying click farms in all different types of countries out there.
To boost videos
Well,
with
I
his
can
name
tell
in
you
it?
that I did not do that
Yeah, I
because
don't
I've
think-
never even heard of that.
Yeah, so Patricia...
So mine were all authentic listeners and viewers.
Have you done any other podcasts like since then?
Absolutely not. Because
Let's
I
go.
want to tell the story about how Matt came for New Year's Eve. And this is right before he asked me to be his girlfriend.
This is where we left off.
I think this
on
is
the
where we
first
left off.
episode.
So picking up where we left off in the last
I don't know
episode.
exactly where we left off, but I don't think we went into the New Year's thing.
Okay, so this is before you guys were official.
Correct.
Right.
But officially had a title, but we're together.
Right. Yes.
Dating.
We were exclusively dating, I would
Yes.
say, but not...
Official.
We didn't have a title on
Yes,
it.
okay.
So Matt, at the beginning of December, he was like, I really want to spend New Year's with you. And I was like, well, I'm going to Rosemary Beach with my family. You're more than welcome to come, but that's where I'll be. Like, I'm not changing my plans.
Right.
She said this over eating at Benihana, okay? But this is like kind of mid-early December. Like
Okay.
before Christmas break, where everyone's going to go home for the
Right.
holidays. And then, yeah.
And then you mentioned it again one night, like probably a week before Christmas or before I left for Christmas. Matt was like, I don't know. This is like, he was like, I really want to spend it with you. And I was like, well, you know where I'm going. Like,
Did you want him to come with you, or did you think it was a little bit of an imposition for him to be like, hey,
well,
buddy?
my family's so welcoming, I would say. And so I didn't think it was weird. Like, so yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
him to come, but it wasn't like,
You didn't feel like pushed back, like, whoa, buddy, slow down. New Year's with the family, that's a lot. You were like, if you want to come,
right.
come. If
I
not,
believe you were the one that was saying to Matt that was too soon.
it might have been.
Yes,
Because
and-
I know that you're like a Southern girl, and I know that in Southern culture, it's
Rain
like,
before spring.
Yeah,
no,
and
and,
absolutely not.
he's adverse to risk.
I am risk averse. I am
Yes,
risk averse.
back to
Did I
that.
say
back
that
to
right?
that.
Risk averse, yeah.
Averse, or I
to
say
risk.
adverse. Is it averse or adverse?
AVERS.
Oh,
averse. Risk
sorry.
averse.
My bad if
It's
I
okay.
mispronounced that.
But yeah, so I was, well, I don't know if I advised against it. I just said, like, it might
It's
be
a little soon, yeah.
I thought he might have been pushing you in a way where it was like, dude, let her just go with her family. Like,
Right.
she wants to be with her family. That's a lot to ask for, but
Well, when I say my family, that means like my family plus like 2 of my cousins, like our
Right.
family best friends. And so I said that to him again when he mentioned it, and I was like, well, you can come. And so then fast forward, it's Christmas Day, I believe. I was talking to my grandfather, and I was like, what do you think I should do? This boy keeps saying that he wants to like spend New Year's with me. And I told him he could come. And then he's saying like, oh, I don't know, it's too soon, but he keeps bringing it up. But I don't want to text him anymore because I feel like he's acting like he thinks it's too soon.
right.
My grandfather was like, the thing is, Patricia, like if he really likes you, he's going to come. If he doesn't. So then I guess the day after Christmas or the 27th or something, you texted me and you were like, I really want to spend New Year's with you. And I literally was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I go, the offer still stands.
Yeah.
And he booked his flight and he came.
Yeah.
I haven't brought a boy home since like I was 16, basically.
Yeah.
They're all freaking out. They're like, who is this boy? My
Yep.
dad, at this point had already listened to every single podcast or whatever you were on.
Right.
Huge fan.
I know. I noticed when I got the follow from your dad. That was like a big moment where I was instantly worried, but then my cousin and her like girlfriend assured me like, no, this is great.
Before you got
Yeah,
there,
it was
he
over
had followed
Thanksgiving.
you.
Over Thanksgiving break, I got the dad follow.
Well,
Okay.
he did the same thing with my brother's wife, added her on Facebook after their first date. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
so I mean, it's a good thing, I would say. I think I changed my outfit about 4 times.
Oh,
So I
wow.
go and pick up Matt at the airport.
So you were a little nervous, too.
Of course I was nervous.
Okay.
I have brothers. My brothers were there. My cousin, like my boy cousins were there. So, I go pick him up at the airport. His pits are very sweaty.
My pits are sweaty.
Yes, you had pit stains on. No, when I picked you up, you had pit stains on both of yours.
I was on an airplane.
Well,
That enters in Panama. It's a small
Can I tell
plane.
you what I was
Wait,
going to
Panama
say?
the country?
Panama City.
So when I
in
say
Florida.
his pits
Oh.
were sweaty, I realized at that moment, I was like, phew, he's nervous as well. Even if you weren't, it made me feel a little bit better.
Okay.
Oh, that's a nice
So
little bonding experience.
we get to the house, and they all were like, we're going to go get some dessert, whatever, we'll be back.
did you give him like a talk on the drive over? Like, okay, so here's who you're going to meet. Here's what you need to know.
Yes, and I'm asking, like, do I call them by their first name? Do I say Mr. and Mrs. Flack?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, I don't know what I said to you, but yes.
Yeah, I think you were like Miss Mary and Mr. Pete.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah, very Southern, very proper,
Yeah.
respectful. But the drive was not like we're on the same page. You're like, okay, you're a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Yes.
We're driving up.
Yeah.
And then you get there.
I mean, mind you, we're still not officially dating.
Right.
So we walk up the steps. I'm still thinking my family went out like they said they would. They are so quiet. We get up there and they're all just sitting there and they're like, hi. I would have been so nervous if I were Matt.
Caught completely off guard
Because it was like the DJ scratch, like everyone just.
Yes. There wasn't like even a TV
They were like
on.
trying to play it cool. They were like, oh, hey guys. And I was like,
Oh, they weren't like, hello, welcome to our house.
It was like walking into an intervention.
and I think they were literally just like trying to like make it uncomfortable in a funny way, I guess.
Or maybe they were trying to play it cool and they just played it
Way too cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then Matt, he gets introduced, whatever.
It was like a quick hello.
Yeah.
Go take your stuff to your room.
And then he comes back and everything was fine.
And then I was like,
New
I
shirt.
gotta say, new shirt,
No
it covered
pit
up the
stains.
pit stains. And then I was like, all right, I gotta say, y'all were way too quiet when I walked up. Just kind of break the tension. And then,
Did I get a big laugh?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good icebreaker.
Everyone was so nice, whatever, to Matt, like introducing themselves. And then my little cousin Miller goes up to Matt, shakes his hand, and goes, Miller Stevens.
Like we were like signing a damn business deal. I was like, all right.
But you have to remember, I'm the only girl in this family, so they're going to be
Right.
sizing Matt up.
Yeah.
And I do remember my brother, we like played games, whatever. My brother texted me like while we were sitting there and he was like, Matt's awesome. I love him. And I was like, okay, thanks.
So I got the approval.
I mean, Matt's a pretty good people pleaser. Like,
He's great.
Yeah. Like, were you nervous for Matt or were you nervous for yourself to like interact with your own family on
I think it was just nervous the fact that I'm bringing home a guy that's not actually my boyfriend at this time because my
Right.
dad kept on making the joke to Matt being like, oh,
If
if
you
y'all
would-
are still friends.
You should come to an Auburn game in the fall.
Oh, because he hadn't made it official yet, so you guys were still just friends.
Right.
And then
Gotcha.
the trip went well. We did New Year's with her fam.
You're having a great time.
Great time. And then
That was a really good New Year's.
it was a great New Year's. And it was like the New Year's before, like,
Hopeful.
yes, it was a different time.
Did you guys kiss at the stroke of midnight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So
we
you
did.
weren't like, no, we're just
No,
friends.
we shook hands.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, man.
Yeah. And but then I really kind of like felt like, okay, I like this girl. This is one I really need to
Lock it down.
lock it down. And then on our flight back, I remember I texted you because I was thinking about asking you out on the flight, like the official, do you want to be my girlfriend?
On the flight.
But then I was like, I don't want to do it on a flight because then on a flight, you're stuck for the next few hours with
Yeah.
this person.
Did you think I would say no?
No, I just felt like I wanted just to be away from people and for
you
it
want to be able to
like
celebrate and be out in the open.
Right.
You don't want to be. Will you be my? Will the person in row CX
Right.
please? Like you don't want to get interrupted when you're doing
exactly. And then, but I texted you
Yes.
during that flight, and I said, I think I'm gonna ask Patricia to be my
it.
girlfriend.
Like paid for Wi-Fi mid-flight, like on the flight in the air, 30,000 feet. I get a text and he goes, I think I'm going to ask Patricia to be my girlfriend. And I was like, aren't you on the plane right now? He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it right when we land. I was like, take a breather, buddy. It sounds like it's going to work out. First of all, are you confident he's going to say yes?
Like you said again, you're very risk averse.
And I just said, like, just take a breather, like take a beat. If you want to ask her, I totally support it. I just don't know if like
On a flight
in the air, like on the plane in row,
Hey.
23B.
Patricia, I have a question.
But I do remember you'd said I fully support that decision.
Because like sometimes like a lot of times when a friend asks you a question, they're not really asking for your opinion.
They're asking for your approval, essentially.
That, and also in some cases, like they just want to know what they actually think. So
Right.
I just want to put up a little bit of resistance to see like if you actually feel as strongly as you do.
Right.
Which to Matt, I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And he was like, "Yes, 100%." And if he would have said, "I'm not sure," then it's like, okay, maybe you're not sure. He was so confident. My only advice was don't do it
Thank
while
you.
you're in the airplane, because I was just like, you just want to be able to celebrate it, and like on the off chance it goes wrong, then you need to wait
Yes.
for like
And then, like, do we take separate Ubers home? Like,
And then that's when you asked, what does her mom look like?
No, I did not.
And then you send me a picture because
No,
like you need to.
You gotta
know.
make sure.
Yeah, you gotta make sure.
I would not. That is not.
So we get home.
That is not.
We're sitting.
That did not happen. I did not.
So
Buddy,
my-
I'm joking.
my-
God, that's funny. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So we get home, and I guess we unpack our stuff.
we unpack our stuff.
Or you come to my house, whatever, and we're sitting on my couch, and you were just kind of like, Patricia, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, I actually wasn't like that. I literally thought about it to kind of make him sweat a little bit, but I also didn't want to seem too eager. And I was like, yes.
Wow.
Did I said more than that.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
She remembers the
I said
crux
there's
of
something
it.
I
I want to
remember, like,
ask you, and
how
I
I
want to let
felt.
you know how much like this means to me, though, and I want you
Yeah.
to know that, like, I don't know. I said a lot of stuff where like this is a really big step, and I want you to know that like
I think
there are
you were-
going to be
yeah.
times where it's like you're gonna love me, you may hate me, and it's going to even go back and forth.
Right.
And I want us to know that this is a process and a journey of like
Well, I don't hate you.
bringing it, and I don't hate you, but like, you know what I mean?
Good baseline
like,
to start
I'm just
this, yeah.
saying, because that's the thing when you commit to a relationship,
Yeah.
everyone thinks, oh, once I make this step with this person, it's going to be dandy,
smooth sailing.
yes,
Yeah.
and nothing
Butterflies
but
every day,
roses.
yeah.
But it's not.
Nope.
It's not. And
Especially in our case, we started dating 2 months before COVID.
yeah, and I think I just wanted to like make that. I don't know, just to put that out in the air where it's like, always know that you can talk to me. I'm
Yeah.
always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
And, but I want to start this relationship, like with
Yeah.
you,
And
like
she goes,
officially.
Let me think about that.
Can I get back to you on that?
She said, "Let me circle back. I'll have my people reach out. We'll touch base next week. I'll do a follow up."
Right.
Okay, so jumping back to the story, Matt is now. You guys are now official
He's my boyfriend. I'm his girlfriend.
as of.
Facebook
January
official.
3rd, 2020.
So yeah, I guess that date
Which is a great anniversary because the math is like so easy.
For how
When people
long
go,
you've been
how
dating.
long you've been together? Like we just
And it's
go,
also
2
great-
years and now what? What day is it? The 28th?
27th.
7th?
Oh yeah.
It's also great too, though, because I feel like we don't really celebrate it that much. Or
Well, it kind of bleeds into like the
New Year's, Christmas celebration.
we
yeah.
both forgot it was our anniversary.
we were in the car ride home from New Orleans, and I woke up from my nap, and he was like, "Oh, Patricia, happy anniversary!" And I was like,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
thought we had more time. Like I thought it was the next day.
Right.
I got my days wrong.
That week between Christmas and New Year's too is always just such a blur where it's like every day feels like this weird non-day.
Yes. I do have a question though.
Yeah.
And this is just a question. This has nothing to do with me and Matt.
Okay.
Patricia always goes, I have to ask a question. You can always ask a question. She does.
I
Like,
think
can I
it's
say
like a
something?
defensive mechanism from being a middle child of 2 brothers and
I
always wanting to like be heard.
Right. So
And
you
so I
want to
feel like I
establish
have-
your presence first.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
trying to break you out of that habit because, like,
I know.
it's polite, but it's like too polite. Like you are valid in everything you say,
Thank
and
you.
I always want you to feel heard and be
Thank you.
heard.
Thank you.
And,
That's very nice of you.
So yes, you may ask a question, Patricia. Thank you for asking.
So back to the whole anniversary talk.
Yeah.
So when you get engaged, is that a new anniversary? And then you get married, is that a new anniversary? Like which one do you
Yes.
celebrate?
You're married
The
is-
marriage is the anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your wedding anniversary. The engagement, I don't think that's. I mean, maybe some people celebrate it, but like when you talk to like a married couple, when they say their anniversary, that's the day of their wedding. So
Okay. So you've been married however many years, but you'd been dating for however many years before
Right.
that.
So a lot of people
So-
will say like, "Oh, we've been together for 12 years, married for 6," or something like that.
Okay.
Like they do it like that.
More math. You got to
I
do.
know, right?
Yeah.
In the 2020 minus 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you just say the wedding date would be the thing. I don't think engagement counts as like an anniversary, but I'm sure there are some couples that celebrate.
Well,
like,
on my Facebook page, all the people that I knew in high school and college are all either engaged, married,
Yeah.
or posting babies, and everyone posts their engagement. Oh, happy 1 year of being engaged.
Yes.
Or this time 3 years ago we were engaged and now we're married. And I'm like,
And to clear it up, people are always like, "Oh, Matt, you go to too many weddings. Why are all of your friends getting married?" And it's because it's half of mine, half of her friends.
Right.
yeah.
That- so
and
that-
this year we've only been to one so far, and that would be Tristan and Corny's wedding,
Oh,
which
yes.
was the wedding of the century.
And to clear it up, guys, it wasn't a real wedding. Yes, it looked.
I've had so many texts about it, and I'm like, it's It was a joke. It was a funny bit taken too far.
It looked pretty legitimate if you don't know who they are and you just are watching social media. You're like, oh, they're at a wedding. Like, she's wearing a wedding dress. Matt's officiating.
The only thing
I
that
had
was
people
legitimate was like me
Officiating?
Yes, like that was the most
Because you're an ordained.
right. I've been in fear that like my license will get taken away for doing
Because
a
you
fake
did a
wedding.
mock wedding?
It's like casting a spell in the Muggle world. Like,
Oh my God.
like you're going to get
you
a
are
letter
very
from the.
superstitious now.
I'm going to get the letter from the Ministry of Magic saying you're not welcome back to Hogwarts.
Did you actually say the things that you have to say when two people get married? Like, is there a specific thing
In
to
a
say?
way.
It was pretty.
In a way.
It was pretty legit. And just to clarify, everyone was always like, why is, of course, Matt's at another wedding. Well, he was there because it was my roommate's wedding.
The first one of the year.
First one of the year. We only have 2 more this year.
So far. Today's sponsor, Bud Light Next.
That's right, zero carb beer is here. We are so excited to be one of the very first podcasts to partner with the very new Bud Light Next, their first zero carb beer.
And they sent us this incredible light up box, which has some Bud Light Next in it. I'm going to show you something very cool right now, Matt.
This already looks like an insanely cool contraption. I have never received a package like this in my entire life. I feel like it's Christmas morning all over again. Now Mike is opening it right here. Whoa!
Pull that open, baby.
Whoa! No way!
That's 3 ice cold cans of Bud Light Next for our enjoyment.
Dang!
I like the labels too.
I do too. Super crisp, light beer. It's 0 carbs, only 80 calories, and 4% alcohol.
They taste great. They're crisp. They're refreshing. It's the beer you want on game day.
And our fridge in this household will be stocked with Bud Light Next for the big game.
And these beers are tasty. They're very fresh, crisp, refreshing, and an unexpected amount of taste for a 0 carb beer. 0 carbs, Matt.
I can't believe it, Mike. You know, in this new year, I've been trying to lower my carb intake. And now that I know that my favorite beer brand, Bud Light, has now made their own carb-free beer, I'm jazzed.
You'll love to see it. And Matt, talk about a box. This feels like something you would see like in a movie where this is the treasure that people want to go after. They open the box up, it lights up in your face, you get to see the product.
I'm pretty sure that my roommates are going to be committing their own heist within our own house just to get their hands on Bud Light Next.
And because these beers are 0 carbs, they're great to just enjoy with friends, have with some snacks, watch the big game. Whatever you may fancy, Bud Light Next is the perfect beer for you. And if you don't believe us, go try out Bud Light Next for yourself. It will be on shelves before the big game. That's Sunday.
I enjoy this beer so much, so I highly recommend it to you guys to get your hands on some. And it will be rolling out onto shelves all before the big game. To find a retailer who can deliver straight to your door, go to budlight.com/next.
Again, that's budlight.com/next. Enjoy responsibly, and remember, you must be 21 or older to purchase.
And now back to the episode. You haven't gone to or
I used to go to a lot of weddings in New York when I lived there. Like, Jewish people get married usually pretty young, too. So that was like in my... What?
Did you get ordained for the Jewish wedding?
You don't really have to get ordained. It's like, as long as you say the things, there's no paperwork to file with, you know, the,
Okay, then let's talk about
Jewish
this.
committee.
You were incredible at Jared and Alexa's wedding.
Oh yeah, this was your last episode was before the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
very
you.
proud of you.
Still waiting for the video from however many months ago. I would love to see it, but
There's a lot of editing that goes into that.
yeah, but that was a fantastic trip.
That
we took
was.
our first couples trip
Yeah.
and overseas, sharing Airbnbs, trying to record a drunk podcast that never aired. Did we ever talk about that? That we tried to record a podcast.
I feel like we did mention it.
Okay. Well, we did try and record a podcast when we were in Italy, and we were all.
It actually was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny, but like listening back, it was like we were just screaming at each other because we were hitting the Manischewitz a little hard, and like you heard the music in the background, and people were like calling us, and it was just a little bit chaotic.
We were interviewing a dog
Right,
at
y'all
one
were
point.
doing it right before the sit-down dinner, and they were
Yeah.
calling on. I was like, boys, we have to get up there.
That is true.
It was a good time.
It was.
I was telling Patricia before that it'd be great to go on another trip as a couple again.
Oh, absolutely.
Whitney and I just got back from Hawaii, which was like so
Looked
incredible.
Awesome.
It
was. Oh yeah. Like I'm a little jealous. You know, you got to go to Hawaii.
I mean, I haven't really traveled that much as in the last
I guess
2
it's
years.
just like
and-
our friend group right now. Like, you know, David's going on these like crazy trips around the world, and then it was
Yep.
like, oh, now Mike gets to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's like the first time I've been on like a vacation in I think maybe like 10 years. Like I never like go away and not work or like not have some
You're not
connection
going for
to
a reason. Like Italy was, you went for a wedding.
Yeah, or like
which
when we go to
obviously that was still a vacation, but it was like
Yeah,
you're
it wasn't
there-
like a full disconnect where I
Right.
like, you know, I was still working like during the day, like
Right.
answering emails, doing phone calls, like, but going to Hawaii, like where I just literally left my phone in the hotel room and just sat on a beach. I finished the entire Mel Brooks biography, which was so good. Yeah, it was a good time. And like Hawaii is obviously like the greatest place
I
in
would
the world.
love to go to Hawaii.
And you
Matt?
what?
I would love to go to Hawaii.
Really? Where would you want to go?
Hint, hint, wink, wink. Let's book a trip.
All right.
What were you going to ask?
I thought you wanted to go to Cabo.
Well, yeah, I didn't know Hawaii would be an option.
We can go to Hawaii.
Hawaii's nice. We can go. We'll plan a trip.
But Cabo is a quicker flight from LA. So.
And it was your first time in Hawaii.
I went when I was a little kid, like 5 or 6, so I don't really remember it. But it was really nice. Like normally we'll go to South by, but then we're like, you know, we'll go to an event or we'll have a meeting with people at Twitter or like
Right.
whatever we're doing. It's always these like work trips. So it was nice to, you know, even though it was only like 4 days, very nice to.
You also had like a crazy, weird glitch in the universe kind of situation that happened when you were out there.
Yes, on the very last day of our trip, me and Whitney got a like day pass for a different hotel to just like use their pool, get a cabana. They do like poolside service, swim up bar. My favorite thing was they had a water slide, which I posted on my Instagram story. A lot of people seem to have liked that I like did a first person view of the water slide. I got so many, like Corny responded like, "Thank you for sharing. This was so much fun." I was like, "Sorry, I missed your wedding. My parents were in town." But yeah, then we're at this hotel and we're watching the last sunset of our Hawaii trip. And when we went out there was just no one there because we got to the sunset like really early. And then when it started to get really nice, like, you know, 20 minutes before the sun disappears, the sky's all red. And I turned around and just looked and the whole beach was filled with people. So I'm just like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people. Connor? And me and Connor Franta made eye contact, and I had no idea it was there. We both ran into each other's arms, and it was like the end of a movie or something. We were just so excited
With
to
the
see
sun
each other.
going down
yeah, it
behind
was so
you,
beautiful.
like-
When
yeah.
you sent the picture to me, I was like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
wait, are you now back in LA and you just went up to Runyon Canyon and like
ran into him on one
the
of his
sunset
runs.
was beautiful?
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, you're in Hawaii. That is insane.
It was truly like that's one of those weird like, whoa, life is pretty crazy.
Life is pretty small.
Yeah,
The world is pretty small.
And he was just there like with his family. It was just so nice to run into him. Like me and Whitney were like, oh my god, Connor, because we obviously have hung out a bunch. He was on the podcast, comes and hangs out at the pool.
Right.
Great friend. It's not someone I would ever expect to randomly bump into on Hawaii. but
Right. Just
It was
yeah.
a good time.
Anyways.
I got in trouble during my Hanukkah party because I invited a handful of people, mostly my Jewish enthusiastic friends, as I like to call them, Matt, Aaron, and just light the menorah, maybe have a drink or two, and then it turned into like a full-blown party rager. Everyone brought alcohol, which was great. No complaints there. Matt brought me a nice bottle of kosher wine, which is great. But then
What did I bring you?
You brought me the most comfortable swimsuit that I have ever worn, that I've been actually wearing in my hot tub that I got
Okay,
in my
good.
house.
It was a blue swimsuit from like Night Swimwear.
Yes.
And
there's nothing
It
more
was-
than my girl buying other men clothes for them to wear. Like, I really want to see this on you, you know? Because imagine
Well,
if I
okay,
bought Whitney.
Matt, you know
Imagine if
what?
I bought Whitney a bikini, huh? Imagine if I was like, hey Whitney, why don't you go try this on?
Okay, pause.
I'd love to see that around the summertime.
Matt, you need to calm down
First
a
of all,
little bit.
wasn't it your bathing
It was a
suit that
bathing
you
suit
got?
this company sent to you, and
Oh,
it was
that
too
didn't
small.
fit. Yeah. So it was actually.
Oh, it was a
something that-
regift.
Yes. It was
So-
a
And I
regift.
told him that, and I said, I'm sure you'll think it's funny. This is a re-gifted gift.
Yes, I did think that was
And he thought it was funny.
I did, and I love the swimsuit. It's not like a revealing, skimpy swimsuit anyway. It's something that you got sent by a brand
And it
that
would
didn't
not- it would-
fit you.
it would
So
be-
next time you get a swimsuit that doesn't fit, you give it to me, and I'm going to give it to Whitney.
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This is I love that this is
Okay.
going to become a tradition. We just
Okay.
buy each other our significant others swimsuits.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be a great brand name for like a swimsuit line called Significant Others?
That's a good name.
And then like it was
I
just,
like
but
that.
it was like, oh, you sell like matching swimsuits like MeUndies, but it's
Yeah.
called
I'm pretty sure
Significant
there's
Others.
a,
Significant
I'm pretty sure there's a clothing brand.
called Significant Others.
I think so.
I like that they're sometimes called unmentionables, like underwear and bras are called unmentionables. You ever heard people say that? That's like from the 50s, I think. Like people be like, "Oh, don't forget to pack your unmentionables." And
God.
it's like referring to your
You're
underwear.
perverting my mind even more than like by saying unmentionables.
I didn't even go there with my thought. My thought is, if you had a clothing company, what would you call it?
I don't know. I would probably just call it like Mike's.
Like your hat says hat.
Oh yeah. Do you like this?
It's very you.
What the hell, Mike? Where did you get that? Did you get that at Spencer's Gifts?
No. So actually, the New Jersey Devils, who are a hockey team, Adam Melcher, my roommate, great musician, is a huge fan of the New Jersey Devils, and they came out with a new jersey, and their team is the New Jersey Devils. So the word jersey is like kind of a weird word.
Oh.
So they released a new jersey for the New Jersey Devils, and it just says Jersey on it. And a lot of people didn't like it on the internet. They're like,
I think it's funny.
Like, why would you make a jersey that says Jersey? Like, that's like making a hat that says hat. And then they made a hat that says hat, sent it to him, but he doesn't wear hats. So he's like, you can have this. And I think it's really cool. So this is official merch from the New Jersey Devils that, like, they responded to all this internet hate of their actual jersey that they made and just leaned in and made a hat.
Wow.
I
You're
like
right.
that.
Adam never wears hats.
So
So
it's
he
like-
should make a funny song called, like, I Never Wear Hats.
Sorry, just jumping back to people getting
Sorry,
mad.
my bad. My bad. That
After my little Hanukkah get together turned party, and like everyone was posting on Instagram, Matt posted that TikTok that got like 1 million views. Like, it was a great night, but then the next night was Scott's show. And everyone was at Scott's show, and I'm getting everybody, hey, why was I invited to the Hanukkah party? Why was I invited to the Hanukkah party? I have a bone to pick with you. I'm mad. I was like, dude, did you want to come light the menorah at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday night? Because that's all I invited people to do. Not my fault it turned
It
into
was
a party.
Saturday.
It was the 7th day?
Saturday.
Oh, it was a Saturday. Okay.
But it was a very small thing, kind of a word of mouth, like, oh, if you want to, like,
Come light the
brought,
menorah.
like, you invited Matt and I, and then we
Yep.
brought, like,
Yeah, you brought some friends. I invited
Yeah.
Jason and his son because they're Jewish. I invited Erin because she's very enthusiastic. Carly because her and Erin are best friends. So I was just like, all right, let's have some people over. And then obviously it turned into a nice big thing. But yeah, it's tough out here when you don't invite every single person to everything that you're doing. You're setting yourself up for disappointment.
right,
But
right.
it is what it is.
Let's face it, taking trips to the post office is probably not the way you always want to spend your time. That's why I recommend mailing and shipping online via Stamps.com.
Stamps.com allows you to mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer.
You can send letters, ship packages, and pay a lot less.
With discounted rates from USPS, UPS, and more.
Stamps.com has saved businesses thousands of hours and tons of money. And with Stamps.com, you get the services of the post office and UPS all in one place. Plus, big discounts on mailing and shipping rates.
Stamps.com brings the services of the U.S. Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. Stamps.com is a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending out invoices or an online seller shipping out orders, or even a giant warehouse sending thousands of packages per day. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease.
Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or a drop-off. It's that simple.
With Stamps.com, you get discounts of up to 40% of post office rates and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. Not to mention, Stamps.com is a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters.
Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving you time and money. So it's no wonder why nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com.
And you're looking at one of them right here, Hoot and a Half Industries. We use Stamps.com every week.
We love them.
So stop wasting time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with our promo code HOOT, H-O-O-T, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and digital scale. There's no long-term commitment or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage, and enter the code HOOT, H-O-O-T. That's Stamps.com, promo code HOOT.
Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
And now, back to the episode. Now it's time for some couples questions. I'm going to ask you guys some questions just as a couple. We'll see if you guys...
A couple of questions or a couple of couple questions?
A couple of couples questions. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we could do this two ways. One, do you guys want me to ask you questions about each other, like Newlyweds game, like to see how well you know each other, or do you want me to just ask questions that you can answer together? I think it'd be more fun if we did some Newlywed type
All right,
questions.
let's do some Newlywed.
Okay,
questions.
Patricia.
And we are not married.
You are not married, but we're gonna play some Newlywed game. Patricia,
Yes.
What is
No, we are recently divorced, actually. We had one weekend in Vegas, and no one knows about that.
and you had to annul it?
Yeah, we had to
wow.
annul it. So,
Pretty bad.
Okay, question number 1. Patricia, what is Matt's last meal that he would ever want to eat? His death row wish meal.
Some sort of pasta.
Yeah.
Some sort of pasta?
What kind of
Judges?
pasta?
Carbonara probably.
Yeah, close to it. Yeah. Nice, like, yeah. Actually,
With a good
like,
IPA, probably.
But yeah, actually, pretty damn spot on. Yeah, I would have probably like my mom makes like a. Actually, my mom more makes like a penne chicken Alfredo, but no, yes, my mom makes this like penne carbonara. I would have that. Good
Okay.
job. Good job,
Thank
babe.
you.
And I have to answer that in return for
No,
Patricia.
I'll ask a different question.
Okay. But can I guess what yours would be?
Yeah, I don't think you'll know what it is because it's a meal of my mom's, but go for it and see if it's
Oh,
close.
if it's a meal that your mom makes, no.
But-
For you, I would say what, like tomato soup and a grilled cheese?
That would be pretty good, but this is what it is. It's this
Manicotti?
it's like this breadcrumb chicken type thing with this orzo thing that she makes and broccolini, but the chicken, I'm saying it wrong, but it's the most incredible chicken, and I have not had it in a long time. But that's always been my meal that I would have as the last meal ever. And then this dessert she makes called Devil's Delight, which is vanilla ice cream, coffee ice cream, and then you layer chocolate chip cookies, and then you layer that all again, and then you cover it with chocolate sauce. It's the best dessert. I think you've had it.
Oh, maybe I have.
'Kay.
I gotta remember that.
Matthew, what is Patricia's favorite thing about you?
I think it's you love how I talk to people. Right? In a way, I
Yeah.
think. Well, I don't know. One time when we were having drinks at one time after dinner, you were talking about like how you like the way I include people and I'm like really talkative to them. But you said it.
Well,
You
I'll
said
say-
this
okay.
compliment in a way where you teared up, like in
Well,
a way.
I think, okay, so we went to a lot of Matt's weddings this year. And there were some people a few that I have never really heard of. But Matt, makes a connection with every single person he meets. And, that can last a lifetime, I think. In a way that, anytime you talk to somebody, you want to have a meaningful conversation with them, and you actually genuinely make a connection with them, and you're not just bullshitting them, I guess. I don't know. I think it's a very good quality of you.
Yeah.
Does that, I mean,
yeah,
I
It's
think
not,
I
it's
think
not
we're-
really transactional. It's not just like, hey, how's it going? Oh, yeah.
right.
we're from...
There's no surface level with Matt. I
Right,
don't think.
right.
When it comes to
Right,
people.
because there were certain friends that I have had in my life that now we've been together for 2 years. She
They
has
may
never
have-
met,
or
honestly
even heard
hasn't
of,
even
yeah.
heard of, but she sees me pick it back up with them, and she's
Yeah.
like, this feels like this is one of Matt's sincere.
Claire's wedding. I mean, I'd never have heard of. I mean, I think I've heard her name once or twice, but I was like, Matt. I mean, Claire's wedding was the most phenomenal wedding, but I literally said to him, I was like, you can send a gift. We don't have to go. He's like, no, Claire was one of my closest friends. I was there when she met her now husband, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So we go. Obviously, it was a blast. And I realized as soon as we got there, this was another group of Matt's friends that I didn't even know about because you genuinely made connections with each and every one of the friend groups. I don't know.
So I don't know, but I kind of answered that question.
It's
I mean,
all
yeah,
the
there are
same.
a lot of things I love about you.
Judges, will we accept? All right, we'll accept. Judges say it's okay.
Okay.
Next question. Patricia.
Yes.
This should hopefully be an easy one. What is Matt's dream destination that he's never been to?
Japan.
Correct.
Okay, Matthew. What is Patricia's favorite childhood memory?
I think it would definitely be oriented around your family and your extended family, and probably spending time with your grandparents and them. And I don't know, is it exactly like the times you had at the lake or the times that you just had running around your grandparents' house?
Definitely lake. And so I have 15 cousins, but on my mom's side, I have 9 cousins. At this point, there was only 7 of us. My grandmother had this big Mercedes sedan, so you only could have 4 extra people in there. My grandmother would come check us out of school. I would always be the last one, me and my brothers, because it would be on the way to the road to the lake. She would check us all out of school. We would all pile up in her car and go to the lake with my grandmother, and we would always do the Jello game right as soon as we got into the street in Willow Point to go to the lake house.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Explain
And she would let y'all curse too.
Oh my gosh, yes. We would go down the steps saying every cuss word under the sun. And as soon as we left her house, we weren't allowed to speak of it, basically. Jello is so, like, it's basically, I think it's something else as well. But we would be in, like, the community where our lake house is. And she would, like, you know, mind you, there's like 4 of us, or this was highly illegal. There was probably 5 of us in the back of the car.
Right.
And she would like go right, and we would all have to go right, and left, I'll have to go left.
Oh, you're like swaying in the car as if like you're exaggerating.
But it was more fun than that, I guess.
Yeah.
And so Miller, the one that I was talking about earlier that like went up to Matt, was like Miller Stevens. He was like at this point the youngest. This was before William and Miller. And oh my God, I was really mad at us. One time we all told Miller to like flick this car off next to us. And he did, and the car got really mad at us, and that's just one of those core memories that you always will have. So yeah, I think that's a pass.
That's a pass. Patricia, what are the last 4 digits of Matt's social security number? I'm kidding. Don't say that on camera.
I have absolutely no idea, and I have no idea what a cell phone number is. I have no idea what a cell phone number is.
We do not know each other's cell phone numbers.
I think it starts with like 942.
972.
Do you want me to say your entire number?
No, but I think that's obvious because I'm from Dallas. Like,
no, that's not that obvious.
Was yours like 213?
Absolutely not.
231?
Wow.
205.
205.
I saw some interesting TikTok about how, like, you know how like last names were received, like your last name is like Shoemaker, or your last name is King, or
Flack.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it probably means something. But nowadays, like a lot of people have in their phone, they'll save it like John Plumber or like Steve Landlord.
My friend Rachel used to work at Collab, and she's Rachel Collab. It's Rachel
like,
Sample. Yeah.
People store like their people's names in their phones as their occupation, and that's how a lot of people like Jews got their name, like Steve Gold, Steve Silver, because they would work in gold, they'd work in silver. Like, oh, their last name is
Sheffers.
Well, I'll give you a funny thing to add up on that.
Work in the chefing business. Shuffling cards.
My mom's side of the family is Greek, and when my great grandfather came through Ellis Island, their last name was Papathanasios, and that was not like that was like too difficult.
Yeah.
And when he was like trying to think of a new last name, he sees Stevens Mattress Company, and he decided to go with Stevens. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of funny to like.
It's like a last names just would come from whatever job people would have, but now it's sort of happening again, where like we store people and their last names as like, you know, Steve Lighting Guy, or it's like Steve Light, or I'm sure everyone knows someone with the last name Light.
Oh, I have people in my phone as like AC guy, or I have Andy Handyman.
Yeah, exactly.
Ella Priya's Ella assistant. Because like she was just David's assistant, so like I only would hit her up because we weren't friends yet.
And Matt's phone, I'm actually Patricia Football.
Really?
No, you had me there for a second where I was like, is it?
I have like my best friend Derek, his girlfriend is still in my phone as Anna Tall Girl, because like we met her at a party and she was the tallest girl at the party, and like she wanted Derek's number or something, so she's still on my phone like 6 years. They're engaged now, and she's still on my phone as Anna Tall Girl.
Aw.
Yeah. Okay, I think that will about do it for the Newlywed Game. Congratulations.
You have no more questions for us?
Who is Patricia's celebrity crush?
Oh, that's easy. Harry Styles. It's so obvious. You got to switch that up, babe. That's everyone's celebrity crush.
I've got a few others.
Oh, you do? Who else?
Do you know any of her others?
She certainly doesn't talk about them that much.
You get a lot of Harry Styles talking though.
Right, but I feel like a few other ones are like weird to say because they're like people are like.
It's like Todd and then like Scott.
Todd, Scott, Zane, Mike Sheffer.
I realize she's been like managing these fan accounts this entire time.
I texted you one the other day. John Reynolds, is that his name from Search Party?
Oh yeah, John Reynolds.
I have a crush on him.
Oh yeah. Oh, I met him. Mike and we met him that one time.
Another one would be Austin Butler because of the Carrie Diaries.
John Reynolds?
John Reynolds, he was in that show Search Party. We were at South by Southwest, and I really wanted to go to the activation. It was after the first season, and I was like John Reynolds because I felt like our style or his style in the show was kind of similar to mine. And
it's
he
what
had these
Matt aspires to be.
He has these glasses that I really wanted, but they were really unique with like that bridge. And so I was like, I have to ask him where he got those glasses. And he said, "Oh, I got him at some thrift store." And he was like, "See ya." Was
that the event where we saw the guy beat like 10 people at chess in one time?
No, that was at the Twitter house like a year later. This one was a different one.
Patricia?
Yeah.
Question for Matt.
Who are his celebrity crushes? Because I can name them all.
Can you?
Name them all. Name them all.
Well, we have Meg Ryan sitting right behind him.
That's right. Like 90s Meg Ryan.
Okay.
We've got Lorde. We have Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. Who's the older lady I really like?
Donna Tartt.
Oh, I do like Donna Tartt, my favorite author.
Annette Bening.
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain.
Yes, Jessica
That's
Chastain.
kind of a newer one. I feel like he's been talking about her.
Yes, I love Jessica Chastain. But
Do you have a shirt that just says Annette Bening on it?
Yeah,
yeah, that's
I
a
do.
cool shirt. Okay, we'll wrap it up here with the one last spicy question for Patricia to answer about Matt.
I called you last night.
At the hotel.
What is that?
Oh, that's our karaoke song.
We've got to get a new karaoke song.
We do, and because I enjoy it, but it's not that much of a crowd pleaser. But we are very fond of that song. But
What
what's
song is
really
it?
weird, a picture by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow.
It's because I like it because it's very easy for me to sing, and I can sing it well.
Yes, you do sing it well, and
So that's
I know
why
all the
I like
lyrics.
it. So I've got to find a new one.
But we were so drunk last weekend. Somehow I get signed up to sing that song, but it's with Cody Ko.
Yeah, because you wanted to sing with Cody. Matt will not sing it at karaoke places with me.
Well,
He won't. He will
the
not get on
thing is-
karaoke stages with me.
Well, no.
For any song or just this Kid Rock
Any song.
Well, usually I just don't like getting up, like
Doing
as like a
karaoke.
social media personality, like in front of all those people, and there's just.
Get over that.
But then
did,
I
like,
don't know.
4
You
songs
sign me
that
up with
night.
Cody Ko, and he comes up and he's like, "Hey, we're doing picture."
Because
and,
y'all asked me what you should do, and I said do picture, and he said okay, that's great.
and I ended up there's some video of me and Cody out there doing.
I think I have it on my phone. I did do 4 songs that night, and I did 2 the weekend prior.
Where did we, what was the question?
If you haven't seen the first episode with Patricia, definitely go back and watch that. Although it is our 3rd most popular episode right now, so you probably already have if you're watching this. But Patricia, did you enjoy your return to the seat of Hoot and a Half?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm way more calm this time.
Yeah, you were
I
a
was
little.
Was she nervous last time?
I was.
I got the sense that you might have been nervous, but like on camera, it didn't show. I don't think you spoke in a nervous way at all, but I could definitely feel that there was like a little bit of that, tension. But that's fine. It's natural.
My face was making like lots of weird faces, which I'm sure it's going to as well. And I forgot to like make a mental note of that before we started recording this. But I could just tell I was nervous because I was like, Mike Sheffer and Matt King, and check us out on Spotify
and Apple Music and YouTube.
and Apple Music and YouTube and.
Well, good. You signed us all off, basically, Patricia. I
Patricia,
adore.
I'm just so happy that y'all are on my podcast. So thank me for being on my podcast.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for having
us.
us, Patricia.
Of course. We'll try to get you back on in about a year or so.
Okay.
Well, I adore you so much. Thank you so much for always putting up with me and being so supportive. You really are the best, and
Thank you.
I'm happy to have
Loving
you back
to
on.
support y'all's careers.
Do you
and
have anything you need to plug?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Well, I have an Instagram. It's Patricia Eflach. I have a TikTok, which is also Patricia Eflach.
Depop.
Go follow. Go like all of her stuff.
comment
her favorite things that she said on this podcast, and
Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so
We'll
much.
see you next time.
all right.
Bye.
Have a good week, everybody.